I was built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past. I'm all I'm achieving. Got my foot on the gas, never stop competing. If you break my glass, then this life's gonna end.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want it, yeah. Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this. Freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus. Living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it. Go on and take your aim. Yeah.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the gas, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Betting Pros NBA picks, sides, totals, and props. I'm your host, Mike Randall. Follow me on Twitter at Randall Rant. We are back again. We had a special episode on Sunday. We had our prop show normally on Wednesdays and Fridays, and we are back here again today on Wednesday, as we will be for the rest of the NBA season. We have today, and we'll be back on Friday, March 11th as well. And the great thing about March 11th, this Friday, we are getting ready for March Madness. We'll be doing a live giveaway this Friday, March 11th, on our first ever NBA Bets live stream with the one and only Allie McCann right here on the Betting Pros YouTube channel. Courteous of our friends at pristineauction.com. One lucky subscriber is going to receive an autographed De'Aaron Fox. That's right, on Twitter. Swipe it at Fox. De'Aaron Fox from the Sacramento Kings jersey. All you have to do is be here and enter. How do you enter? Subscribe to the Betting Pros YouTube channel before the 4 p.m. live stream on Friday. Ask a question in the chat during the show, and that's it. At the end of the show on Friday with Allie, we will announce the winner at the end of the live stream, so make sure you stick around to claim your prize. Of course, as always, subscribe to the Betting Pros YouTube channel so you can join us in that live chat and give us the best bets as we go through the show today. Books we will use here: DraftKings, FanDuel, PointsBet, and BetMGM. I was shopping around all morning. It's important to shop around and get the best lines that you can find for the players that you like. So many great deals here on the site, and sports betting growing all over. Don't forget BetMGM. We have a special deal, $10 on any event you can bet, and you'll win $150 in free credits regardless of the outcome of the bet. Just enter that promo code JUICE150 when you sign up at BetMGM. The link can be found in the video description or pinned in our chat. So hopefully you subscribed, you get your questions ready, and here we go for today. We've had a good run here last 3 times. We're going to try to keep things going today. First up, Chicago -5.5 at Detroit, -110 on DraftKings. Now, look, this is Vucevic dependent. If Nikola Vucevic plays tonight, then I'm going with Chicago. If Vucevic does not play tonight and he's out again, we are actually going to go with the Pistons. This is totally Vucevic dependent, so check my Twitter feed at Randall Rand. I will give you the updates. Vucevic missed the Bulls, 121-106 loss at Philadelphia, and Chicago is in free fall. They've lost 5 straight games. The Bulls have plummeted to 4th place in the Eastern Conference after residing in first right before the All-Star break. Now, if Vooch plays, I think, and this is going to be the theme of this show, you marry the math with the narrative. I think this is a get-right game for Chicago. I don't think they're going to 6 in a row on a losing streak here if Vooch plays. Against the Sixers on Monday night, DeMar DeRozan continues his phenomenal season, 23-11-8. He dominated across the board in Vooch's absence. Zach LaVine active as well, 24-8-5, and Kobe White chipped in 19 points off the bench. So they actually battled a Sixer team that is much better than the Pistons, but in the end, they gave it up, and that's fine. But I think they can hang tonight. But if they have Vooch, I think it's a total get-right game. Now, they're going to play Detroit. No Isaiah Stewart inside because of the bruised knee. That's a big factor inside. Active, knocking balls around, getting rebounds, tremendous. Frank Jackson out with back issues. Killian Hayes is questionable. Had the collision there with Jeremy Grant. Pistons have been rolling lately. They've won 3 of 5 games and 3 wins in a row. Detroit, 3 wins in a row. Break them up. The ghost of Vinny Microwave Johnson is there, and the Pistons are playing well. But those games were against Toronto, Indiana, and Atlanta, all of which are not as good as the desperate Bulls tonight. If Vooch plays, DeRozan and LaVine, Chicago should have enough to get by the Pistons because I think Ayo Dosunmu will slow down Cade Cunningham. Cunningham's been phenomenal. This month, 22.5, 10 boards, 6 assists, 20 or more points in 4 of the last 5. But he has struggled going against big guards, which is what's going to happen with Dosunmu tonight. The Pistons are 7-0-1 against the spread in their last 8 games. They've won 6 outright. But in this one with the Bulls, they've had one matchup with the Bulls. They were pounded 133-87. Cunningham struggled, only had 8 points back on January 11th. This Pistons team has improved, and if Vooch is out again, we're going in the other direction because the line is going to shift. But if Vooch plays, I don't think Jeremy Grant can stop DeMar DeRozan. It's all about the matchups, and we're going to lay the points here, the 5.5 with Chicago. Right now, Pistons are getting 55% of the bets because the public, quite honestly, follows the trend. Pistons are hot. They're going to bet the Pistons. But the Bulls are getting 50%, 56% of the money. So I think we're aligned with the Sharps. That is a good thing. Marvin Bagley should step into a role here with Isaiah Stewart. So that's an interesting one. You may want to look at that prop as well. But regardless, to me, it's a close game. But I will lay the number with Chicago if Vooch plays. If not, we're going to go in the other direction. Over-under is also interesting in this game. Chicago versus Detroit, the over-under is 228. We are actually going to go with the under. I think the Bulls actually have a solid defense that can limit Cade Cunningham. That loss of Stewart's going to hurt. Bagley comes in. He can get in foul trouble inside. He's going to have to deal with Vooch and DeRozan attacking the basket. It's a bad mix there. This is a coin flip based on the history. If you look at it, Pistons are 16-15-1 to the over, so almost 50-50 at home this year. But they've played each of their last 3 games to the under because as they're winning, their defense is getting better. Bulls 15-15-1 with the total on road games this year, but they've hit the under in 5 of 6. Bulls will be ready to limit Cunningham. Like I said, I'm taking the under. 53% of the bets on the under, but 95% of the money. So if you have any questions, make sure to put them in the chat. I'll start with those. Those 2 bets there, Chicago laying 5.5 if Vooch is active, and we're going to go the under on both of these games. Second pick I really like a lot. Miami -5 against Phoenix. 106, -106 at FanDuel. I always look for same-day value with injuries or players returning, and I think we have that here with Miami. This line opened up Miami -8. All of a sudden, Devin Booker announced to be coming back tonight after missing a few games with COVID protocols. But I think the Suns are going to start to feel the absence of Chris Paul here. They've been very valiant. They've played tough, but I do believe in a law of efforts corollary, where I say when you have to overcome something and you're highly motivated, like the loss of Paul, you play well initially and then it eventually wears you down. They had a huge effort at Milwaukee without Paul and almost won, but they blew the cover by a 10-point loss. Then they beat a shorthanded Orlando team last night without Suggs, 102-99. Bridges had to block a three-pointer at the buzzer, could have went in, sent the game to overtime. They had 21-19 from DeAndre Ayton. So Ayton has had a huge role. I don't think he sees that tonight against Bam. I'm a little concerned because Jimmy Butler is questionable. But if Butler is active, this number is going to skyrocket by a point or two. Kyle Lowry is back. He played 32 minutes in the last game. He had a bizarre line, 0 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, but he did play 32 minutes, which is what we want to see. Backup Vincent, of course, is still solid at point guard. Didn't play as much, but he's there in case there's an issue. Also for Phoenix, let's not forget, Booker is back, Paul is out, but Cam Johnson with a quad injury is also out. That's a huge issue for them. Heat are 39-26-1 against the spread this year. That is third best in the NBA. They are 17-13 against the spread at home. That's one of the best records, home records in the NBA against the spread. Miami has covered 5 in a row, 6 of 7. Suns have covered in 6 of 7, haven't covered in 6 of 7. So Phoenix, while they're competing, they have not played well against the spread without Paul. Now they're going on a back-to-back. They're playing a Miami team. No Cam Johnson. Ayton should be limited by Bam. I don't like the matchup. People are going to be all over Phoenix here. I'm going the other direction with Miami. Even if Butler is not there, I still like it because of some players we'll hear about in the props in a minute. So I'm going Miami, laying the points there as well. 2 more picks here on the sides. And again, if you have any questions, please make sure to put them in the chat. Question here, Cade points over or under. We will get to that later, Anna. It's coming up, but I'll give you a preview here. I do not like Cade tonight. I think the number has been inflated because of his recent success. And now playing against a desperate Bulls team, I think you're going to see a little bit more of a reduction in Cade's production, but you'll see that in the prop section as well. Good question. New Orleans -8.5 versus Orlando -115 at Bet365. I am staying with the Pelicans. You know that. They played the Nuggets in the altitude. And in that game, they were down big. They came back. They should have covered. And Joker went ballistic with 30 points in the fourth quarter and overtime. They lost that. Then they played Memphis without Brandon Ingram. Their first game, Ingram warmed up in that game and they was ruled out right away. They're playing Ja Morant. They're playing at the Grizzlies. It's a tough spot. Now they come home against the Magic, who just played last night. I am laying the points here with New Orleans. I love this Pelican team. CJ McCollum has had a tremendous impact. I like a big game from Herb Jones, Valanciunas inside. Hernan Gomez has gotten involved. They have enough to get by Orlando. They certainly do. I don't know if Jalen Suggs is going to play. He didn't play last night. So what we have here is an Orlando Magic team that lost a tough game at home to Phoenix, now playing the Pelicans on the road, who I like, who played very well, but they ran into some tough luck against Denver and just got the doors blown off against Memphis. Some of the players got to rest in that game as well, so I expect a big, big effort from New Orleans tonight. And if you follow the recent trends, we are going under in the New Orleans-Orlando game, under 223, -110 at FanDuel. The Pelicans have been an under team. They are holding teams to low point totals at home. Remember the Jazz game a week and a half ago? They ended up holding the Jazz. They beat them by 30 at home. They are very tough. They are looking to get that 9 seed there in the Western Conference so they can have the home game against the Lakers in the playoffs, who are in free fall. So 2 picks here. New Orleans -8.5 versus Orlando, -115 at Bet365. New Orleans versus Orlando, we're going to do the under at 223. Another question here, Ayton rebounds under 11.5 with the matchup with him. That's an interesting question. I would lean under in the rebounds with Ayton because with Bam up front, it is a problem. I am actually worried, Anna, in this game that Miami could open up a fairly substantial lead. This could be a flat spot for the Suns. I know Cam Payne has been fantastic and I like him, but I don't like Ayton inside. He didn't hit the over in the rebounding prop against the Bucks, so I would be a little hesitant here at 11.5. It was 9.5 somewhere with some high juice maybe, but 11.5 is a little too high for me. I'm going to lean to the under there because I just think Miami's the better team. In fact, they're my favorite to win the NBA title this year. Now we're going to move over to player props, folks. Make sure to check out the bettingpros.com/cheat sheet. That's right, the Betting Pros NBA player prop cheat sheet. It's fantastic. I check it every time I do the props. Bettingpros.com/cheat sheet. And we have some great ones here for you that align with the cheat sheet. First up, I'm a huge Tyler Hero guy. I think he's rolling. I think this is a big, big spot for Tyler Hero. Over 21.5 points at PointsBet -110. You can get over 20.5 at some books, but the juice is -120. I'm going for the better juice. I did this last night with Kyrie Irving. His over total last night was 24.5. I went for the 25.5 because of the extra point and the better juice. Got it at plus money because he put a 50 burger on last night. Tremendous performance by Kyrie. Similar situation here with Tyler Hero. He's been scalding hot lately. Look at his box scores. It looks like a lotto. Tyler Hero over 21.5 points, -110 at PointsBet. And I'm going to take Tyler Hero over 3.5 assists, -115 on BetMGM. Like the Heat a lot tonight, so it's important to align your props with your sides and totals if you feel that you have a good read on the game. I think I do. Hero could actually start if Jimmy Butler doesn't play. So I feel like either way, we're going to have a good shot here. Either the Heat are going to play, in which case I think they beat the Suns comfortably in cover, and Hero will be majorly involved, or Butler sits, maybe Hero starts the game, in which case we get more run for Tyler Hero, which is fine either way. I'm going to take Tyler Hero over 3.5 assists. Those are my two props there for Hero tonight. Reggie Jackson under 5.5 assists at home, +120 on DraftKings. Listen, Reggie Jackson's been fantastic, but the Wizards are sneaky tough against opposing point guards, allowing the 7th fewest fantasy points per game, 9 fewest assists per well in their last 15. So in the last 15 games, the Wizards are actually the 9th best team at limiting opposing point guard assists. They had a terrible performance. Jackson had a terrible performance against the Wizards in their only game this year back on January 25th. His numbers were awful. He has been hot lately. I recognize that. So that's why we have the +120 juice, but I like the under. I think Jackson's going to have to score in this game. Porzingis has been back for Washington. He cost me. He was a late addition to the roster and to be active for the game against the Pacers last week, which cost me that. It was very frustrating, but Porzingis looked good. The Wizards want to make the playoffs. They're battling a Clippers team that has been struggling. I'll take the plus money, +120 on an under for Reggie Jackson here, under 5.5 assists. Opinions on the Spurs versus Raptors. I have that question. That's an interesting game. I will tell you this. The Spurs defense has been relatively non-existent. Fred VanVleet is back in that game. I have a prop coming up soon about that. I like the Spurs in that game, but what I like even better is the over between those two teams, because when VanVleet's been on the floor, the Raptors been able to score. Boucher has been involved. I don't like Gary Trent. There's a spoiler alert, but I do like the over in that game. Next up, this is referring to the question we had earlier. Cade Cunningham, we're going under 19.5 points, -110 on FanDuel. This is a Betting Pros cheat sheet play. Remember, bettingpros.com/cheat sheet. He's projected for only 16.8 points on our cheat sheet. That's a 2.7 point difference. All the reasons we stated. I love fading, doing the opposite, having a contrarian play, and that's what I think we have here. Who's been hotter than Cade Cunningham? No one. But I don't like him in this matchup against the Bulls with DeSumo being all over him. Cade can still have a good game. 17, 18 points is a solid number when you look back on his averages the entire season. But in this game, we just got to be under 19.5, and that's what I'm going for. His points, rebounds, assist prop on BetMGM is like 31.5. A little concerned about that. Maybe he gets 6 assists, 7 assists, 18 points. We're getting too close to that number, and I don't like the juice. This one I like. Under 19.5 for Cade Cunningham, -110 on FanDuel. Next up, it perfectly aligns with the giveaway on Friday when Ali has joined us. Swipe of the Fox. De'Aaron Fox over 24.5 points, -105 on BetMGM. Domantas Sabonis is suspended one game for contact with an official. Rashard Holmes is out for personal reasons. Who else is scoring for this team? Kings tonight. Fox could hit 40 points. Denver allows the 4th most points per game to opposing point guards over the last 30 games. Swipe of the Fox, 29.8 points per game in March, 27 points per game in February. He has beat this number in 10 of the last 12. The Kings are home. Nuggets on the road, 238.5 point total. Enough. De'Aaron Fox over 24.5 points, minus 105 on BetMGM. Gary Trent Jr. under 19 and a half points. Going back to that Spurs Toronto game, Trent is very, very streaky. Under 19 and a half points, minus 106 on FanDuel. We hit this last week on the props we did rather on Sunday. We got right under the number at 19. We're going back to the well. Projected below this number on the BettingPros cheat sheet, we have him at 18.8 points. Van Vliet is back. Trent has started to cool. Only 14.1 points per game for Gary Trent in his last 10. 30.5% from the field, horrific. 25.3% from three-point range, even worse during that 10-game span. The Spurs give up points to opposing shooting guards, but you know the way the Raptors are. Who is the true shooting guard? Is Van Vliet getting shots? Are they putting Barnes at point guard? Is it Point Siakam? So Trent is not he's not your typical shooting guard in this game. They are going to give up points. I just think Trent's going to continue his cool streak. He hasn't broken this of 6 of 7. He's a very streaky player. We are not going to bank on that streak changing tonight. We're going to continue with the Gary Trent streak. Gary Trent under 19.5 minus 106 on FanDuel. I love me some Herb Jones tonight for the Pelicans. Over 11.5 points, and thank you, FanDuel, for the plus 100, the plus money. No Ingram, they're going to need scoring. Herb, 11.6 points per game without Brandon Ingram on the court this year. That's right at this number. CJ McCollum's scoring has sort of slowed a little bit since that great spurt when he just joined the team. And his prop, which I looked at, 27.5 points is too high for me. Don't like the juice there either. I think Herb should get 30 minutes. He only had 24 minutes in that blowout against Memphis. No problem. He's refreshed and replenished. Herb, 8 points in one game this year, but Ingram played. He has double-digit scoring in 4 or 5 without Ingram. Last 5 home games as well without Ingram. 11, 19, 9, 26, and 11. It is close enough. It's right at that number. Plus money, plus 100. Sounds good to me. Herb Jones over 11.5 points. Nuggets over. I got a couple questions here. Robert fired up about Cade Cunningham. I'm with you on that one. Nuggets over. It's a good question with the Nuggets over. I don't think it's bad at all because you're dealing with Sacramento, Daryl. If you have Sacramento, overs are never a bad idea, especially because you know they're going to have no one inside to stop Jokic, and Fox should be able to put up some points. Couple more props, 2 more, and then we'll get out of here. Give me Spider, Donovan Mitchell, over 24.5 points, plus 100 on DK. We had a good run with Donovan Mitchell. We've handicapped him well. We hit overs and unders on his point total appropriately. He had one game against Portland this year. He dropped 30. Now he's home. Big spread, 18 points, blowout risk. I get it, but 25.6 points per game in his last 10, 25.2 points per game at home this year. He's cleared this number in 7 of 10. Now, he hasn't cleared it in 3 straight. So this is where you have to marry the math with the narrative. What do you think is going to happen? You just can't follow the numbers. That's what I'm doing here. I'm fading the recency bias and going on Mitchell hitting his over. He's number 4, the number 4 pick on our BettingPros cheat sheet. We have him projected for 28.1 points today. Love this prop. Mitchell bounce back. I'm going over 24.6 points with plus money on DK. And the last one, folks, just because I like the Heat doesn't mean I fade all the Suns players. Cam Payne over 14.5 points, minus 115 on DraftKings. No Ingram. They certainly need scoring. We talked about it. Herb can score with the Cam Payne. You're going to have to find scoring tonight. No Paul. Booker is back. No Cam Johnson. I like Cam Payne. He's going to be able to post points tonight against the Heat. They're good against opposing guards, but Payne has been so hot. He was lighting up the Bucks in his game. I think Cam Payne is going to go over this number tonight. I don't expect the Suns to not be able to score, but the question is, where is the scoring coming from? If I believe Bam is going to limit DeAndre Ayton inside, then I think someone has to put the points up, and I like it to be Cam Payne, who is the center of the offense. 14.5 points. He gets 15 and we win. That's fine, minus 115. So just to summarize here, we have Tyler Hero, 2 props, over 21.5 points, over 3.5 assists. Reggie Jackson, we're going under 5.5 at home against a sneaky Washington team. Cade Cunningham, under 19.5 points. De'Aaron Fox, over 24.5 in a big game without Sabonis. Gary Trent of Toronto, under 19.5. Herb Jones, over 11.5 in a game that they're going to need scoring. Spider, Donovan Mitchell, back home, comfortable, over 24.5 points, and Cam Payne, over 14.5 points in a game that I like the Heat, but I'm going to turn it over and think that the Heat are going to win, but the Suns and Cam Payne will be close enough here to hit that over. For Booker assists, last question here coming in from Mike. Yes, I think that Booker is absolutely going to be involved in the offense. He's had some high assist numbers. And I would think this, Mike, in his first game coming back from COVID, I'm just not comfortable going with his points prop. I'm more comfortable with assists because you know he's going to get defensive attention and he can create some stuff. Give me 2 driving kicks from Booker to Cam Payne, and we will be set to cash it. Thank you guys for everything. Just like Joseph just said in the chat, let's make some money tonight. We'll be back on Friday with Allie and our De'Aaron Fox giveaway. Mike Randall at Randall Rand for Betting Pros. Let's get after it tonight.